Fifth test is here, and it was a very interesting day. It started pretty average for the Australians, and they definitely reined it back in. It was a very topsy-turvy one with Aussies end up in a really good position at 7 for just over 200, and then the tail did wag, and Chris Wokes just keeps doing his thing. Mark Wood seems to get 15 or 20 pretty quickly and kind of just get a nice partnership together with who he's with. And the Australians there lost one late in the day of Warner, but one down for 61. Ends them in a solid position, and WinViz has them ahead in this game slightly. I'd probably have it pretty even at this point. I think 283 will be solid. It's a pretty nice batting wicket. It'll just depend on the conditions over the next few days as to what England can do with the ball. But yeah, a very positive start for the Australians there. And we'll get straight into it. Obviously, I don't really see much chance of a draw in this one unless there is going to be rain about, but it doesn't seem to be the way. Let's just start it off with the drop catches, unfortunately. There were a few. And the biggest one, we'll highlight it obviously, is Alex Carey's drop of Harry Brook. He just misjudged it, unfortunately, and should have gone two hands. And it's probably the only blemish on Alex Carey's keeping to date in these 6 test matches that we've played in England. And it did really cost him. Brook early, who went on to bat incredibly well and get 85 off 91. He did also nick one through the slips as well, a couple of balls later. So I think he was 5 off 9 when he nicked the next one, and just a couple of rash shots, and then from there he just played incredibly well. So that was that there. The other one was Ben Duckett getting dropped fairly early as well off Warner, and just a very soft effort. He did beat him for pace in the end. It did take it pretty lax. And those ones that are above your head, you do need to get your hands up quick, because if you don't, the other ones there seems, if they're in front of your body or to the side even, if you are a little bit late, you can give a little bit more. So you've got that little bit extra time if you are a little bit late to it. But above the head, you don't have much give with your shoulders there. So it does just hit, if it's in the top part of the hand, more in the fingertips there, which you take them, normally. But if there's got a little bit of pace on it, it does just break through those fingertips. And it just seemed that, Warner wasn't exactly ready for that one. He had Smithy's drop off Crawley a little bit just after that as well, which was frustrating, but that was a full lengther. And sometimes he takes them and you go, oh my God, that's an absolute screamer. So he can't really hold that against him too much. And Crawley didn't go on to hurt the Australians. But that is enough on the drop catches. There was one a little bit later actually on with Mitch Marsh, but it didn't hurt them as much as a couple of those other ones there. So speaking of the batting innings, as it went on really, really fast, and again, just that backward point. If you just go back and watch the highlights there, you'll see the amount of times that just an easy single was there, and it just relieved that pressure. And that's the thing. You do see, like, obviously a few of the shots that would have went down there, they would have been 4 for sure if they didn't have the guy back there. But it's just you're wanting them to play that type of shot and nick it, right, rather than just be able to just dab it in there for one. So I just feel like that, I don't know if that tactic has worked for the entirety of the series, and it continues to happen. And it just allows these guys to see them get starts. And so many of these batsmen each and every game get that, and they end up getting themselves out at some point. Whereas they could get themselves out a little bit earlier if they have to go for these type of shots. So yeah, very early partnership, getting out to 62 before the loss of Duckett. And they end up losing 3 quick ones. It was Crawley then, and then Root at 3 for 73. So yeah, bowling wise, to start off with, again, just straying a little bit to the leg side, it seemed, on Duckett early on, which just gets him in that little bit. And then from there, they did bowl a lot better, and he does seem to square himself up a bit, and a few of those went out to the offside in gaps, luckily for him. So bowling wise for them, the start was solid. Pat Cummins looked really, really nice. He ended up going for a lot of runs. He was 10 overs for 50, but his first over, he could have got, Duckett with that one off Warner. And then he had a few player misses, almost a chop on. So he started really, really on song, and he ended up getting that beautiful wicket there of Crawley, which is where they're going to get him out, just on the top of the bounce, a little bit closer to his body. He's not one to really pull the ball as much as someone like Duckett or Harry Brook would on that or Stokesy on that kind of length. So he's one that's his sort of nicking length there, similar to that of Joe Root, just that little bit outside the off stump. Or close to off stump there, 4 stumpish, where they can nick that to the slips, and that's where Paddy got Crawley there on that one. So yeah, first few partnerships there were solid until the first partnership was solid until that first wicket, and then it was Moeen Ali and Harry Brook, and Moeen's done a really, really solid job, and slow for the most part until he got into it, and that dab over the keeper's head there, literally straight over his head, was absolutely incredible. And the timing that you need to have to be able to do that was amazing. So well done to him. And then they gave Todd Murphy a bowl. He bowled one a little bit short and got pulled for 4. And then he got in with a beauty. Just a little bit of a drift in. And then, obviously went on with the arm. Just went straight. Obviously, early on in this test match, not much spin. And just beat him for flight. And dip. It was great. So, yeah, again, people will say, why isn't Todd Murphy bowling? And he didn't end up coming on at the end and getting that second last wicket there of Mark Wood bowled through the gate there. Pretty much the same as what happened in that first one with Moeen Ali. And you look at this and you compare it to a couple of last test matches, and a few of the times there, Wood, he was really loving the pace and they just didn't bowl the spin. Happened again here. As soon as they brought Todd on, gets him out. So, yeah, just really strange the tactics sometimes on that one, just giving him a different look. Like, he obviously likes to hit the pace with the pace on the ball, and he has to create his own pace when Murphy's there and just gets him straight away. So, yeah, I just feel like that's something that they need to look at with the certain types of batters that they have out there. Some of them just enjoy a certain type of bowling, and Mark Wood can just get out of the way and swing his tits off. Perfect. Exactly what he wants there. So that was that. Absolute beauty from Ben Stokes there. That beautiful one where he angles it towards leg stump and just a little bit of late swing and seam away. And Stokes was just like, whew, too good. Too good for me on that one. Joe Root just trying to, getting a little bit too cute. He dabbed a couple down, passed down to third man, I should say, and then end up trying again on one that just came back a little bit more. So well bowled by Hazelwood. A little bit of luck, obviously, and same with Bairstow to come to chop one back on. But it seems to be the way that these guys play a little bit. They get a little bit too far outside their body, and you open yourself up to a chop on, unfortunately there. But really the highlight of this innings was Harry Brook, and some of the shots, man. The pull shot for 6 off not much of a length, the straight drives that he had, a couple of the cover drives were beautiful. Once he got a couple of those crap ones out of the way, where he nicked them a little bit too far outside his body, he was really compact from there. And I just love his setup. I love his stance, and he can just his ability to play really straight and get onto the ball straight away. He looks like he's very much concentrating. You see some guys that just look a little bit lax. He's just on at the right time, and he's an absolute treat to watch, that's for sure. Bairstow, no good for this one with the 4. Stokesy, the 3. Again, that's where Aussies really got on top. End up 7 for 212 before Wokes continues to just do really well with bat and ball. And then Woody came together and put a few on, and then obviously got Broad, and then Wokesy at the end. So Starkey, good bowling from him again. Obviously went for a little bit, 5.5 and over, but most of them were pretty expensive. And of course, Todd Murphy, the one they didn't want to bowl, was the lowest in economy, and that's with a few good shots from Brook and Moeen Ali at the start of his spell. So yeah, I think hopefully in the second innings they'll use him a little bit more. He should be bowling more, same or more at least of Mitch Marsh, you'd say. Like, he should be the 4th most amount of overs, you'd say. Yes, but at least 10, you'd say, in that one. Look, you look at the others and it's 13 and 14, so there's not too much room to grow. And yes, you can say that the pitch was offering a little bit more for the pace bowlers, but the numbers don't lie on this front. He got a wicket in his first over, so obviously, it took Moeen Ali. He was out there for 47 balls and a lot of time, and Murphy gets him straight away. So it does mean something, right? That's all we need to say on that one. Let's go to the Australian innings then, and Uzi really just batting time, which is great. 75 balls, 26 runs, making sure he got to the end of the day in that 25 overs. So very slow going for him, but he allowed. It allows this team, the Australians, to get into a bit of a groove and work towards a nice score in this first innings. And Warner just keeps getting out to that ball, and for some reason he tries to score runs off that one that's just above the stumps, maybe 4th stump there, and he's trying to open the face a little bit and play it through like cover point where that gap is, and it just he keeps getting out with it, and it's just he needs to put it away because he plays some terrific shots, and he saw that in this innings again at 24 for 52. Scoring solidly enough, and it just seems to be, that when that pressure comes on a little bit, he seems to just want to get that one away. He's so good just to wait that little bit longer, unfortunately, and we lose him. So 1 for 61 there, Marnus coming in 2 off 23. So hopefully he continues his form, and we do see a big innings from Smithy, and I'd love to see Uzi be the anchor again for this innings like he has been in many others. That's where we're at heading into day 2. As I said, I really think that these 3 here, Uzi, Labuschagne, and also Smithy, it's their time to step up and really just dominate and win this test match. There's been so much talk about this rain-affected 4th test, and if Aussies just come out and win this one, then there'll be no talk anymore. It would have been 3-2. Yes, if they should have won that. If there was play at least for another 50 overs or something like that, they would have won most likely. But it didn't happen. Australia's keep the earn. If they win this one, it's 3-1, and you can't say anything more. Would have been 3-2, as I said, if they won. So there's a lot on the line in this Test match, I feel, and it doesn't seem like that people have taken their foot off the gas. Australian looked like they wanted it as much as last Test, and the English guys did stray off their line a little bit on certain balls, but they also still bowled with a lot of class. And Broad went for 1.6 and over. Anderson went for 3, some of his highest of the Test matches here, and then 2 for Broad and 1.6 for Woke. So we'll see what happens if the Aussies play a little bit more aggressively in the morning. But there's nothing you can say that says that the England are out of this at all. So I hope you enjoyed day 2. It's going to be really, really fun watching the Australians bat, and I can't wait.